Ladies and gentlemen, on my YouTube channel 2 days ago, I clearly titled my video, "Do not get trapped here. Most are wrong about BTC." In the thumbnail, I put the word in red, rejection, followed by 95% of people don't know. And I'm very happy with that video and how it's turned out, because in that video, I labeled this a rejection point at 69,000 when we were there. We saw the weekly candle close right on top of the breakout point, but not over the breakout point. We hence saw the rejection, and we've come right downwards to where I expected at 65,000. We have now seen what could very well be the perfect correction on Bitcoin. The correction that ends this ridiculous 7.5-month consolidation mess that Bitcoin has been chained down, shackled down by the entirety of 2024, pretty much. There is merely one more step Bitcoin needs to take on the short term, and that is break above 68,000, and we're almost there. We got to 67.5 just a few hours ago. We're almost there. If we do break 68,000, that would confirm that this correction is over. But until then, there actually does stand the lurking threat of a potential rounding top formation and rolling over further to the downside, which would just kick the can down the road and extend this consolidation even longer. I think that's the unlikely scenario. I think Bitcoin looks quite good here, but it does need to get above 68,000, unfortunately. From 68,000, we can create a base to start attacking the upside, to start attacking the macro breakout point, just like we did last time. Once we broke above 68,000 over here, what were we doing? We were making plunges or jabs up to the upside, waiting to break out, failing both of them. But if we get up there again, we can do the same thing and potentially break out properly this time. So that's the big thing right now. Will Bitcoin get back above 68K? And then from there, can it actually break upwards? And what would it need to do to confirm that break upwards? We're discussing all of this today. We'll look into fresh charts. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get into it. Two exchanges, guys, Blowfin and Bitfinex. They're both pretty much identical in a lot of ways, although I will say Bitfinex I use personally. It's been around for a while longer, but functionally they're the same. Okay, we've got hundreds of trading pairs, we've got reserves information, they've never been hacked before, we've got trading fee discounts with my referral links down below, 15% trading fee discounts on Bitfinex with my referral links down below, and thousands of dollars in the reward center up for grabs as bonus USDT bonuses for trading added to your account just by doing a few things here. So check them out, guys. Use my links down below. Takes 30 seconds to sign up. Non-KYC, you can't go wrong. I use Bitfinex personally. Check out the links down below. Right, so starting with macro, let's just get a overview of where Bitcoin is right now. We know the descending channel, blah, 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 blah. Everyone talks about it, right? 7.5 months consolidation within a descending channel formation. There's various different ways you can draw it. I've identified probably the objectively right way to draw it, and that is taking into account the 2021 all-time high, which a lot of people aren't doing right now. Go back to 2021, draw a horizontal line where the all-time high was in 2021, extend it right across, and what you'll notice is that we rejected from that level on the weekly candle right here on the candle, the very candle that led us to break the all-time high in March. And then we've rejected again on the last weekly candle we saw last week from that 69K level, right on top of the critical breakout point of the channel. And that, in my view, is clearly the breakout point. So the fact that we've rejected from that level on a weekly chart means, to me, very clearly, that we need to see a weekly candle close above it in order to confirm a breakout. So I don't really care necessarily at this point where the top of the channel is. What I care is where the 2021 all-time high is, because that has just been shown on two separate occasions, one of which being the occasion that led to an all-time high, that is the critical macro breakout point. So I would like to be seeing a weekly candle close above 69,000. Until I see that, I will not consider Bitcoin to be in a macro breakout. I will not consider Bitcoin to be in the next leg of the parabolic bull market until 69,000 is broken. I don't care what happens with the channel formation. The channel formation, in my view, at this point, the resistance line is a secondary. What matters to me is the 2021 all-time high. There also is another level you can look at, that you should be looking at, that I looked at 2 days ago when I was able to predict that correction we saw. This yellow line right here. This is a yellow line stemming backwards from the start of October, cutting through very important highs right here on 4 separate occasions now. And as you can see, it was basically the fake out rejection point. We mentioned that on the day before it happened. And of course, we went up to it, rejected from it, went downwards into the correction. Great prediction by us on this YouTube channel, but also pretty much telling us that that yellow line there is going to be another critical breakout point we need to see. You know, if Bitcoin manages to get above the channel formation and get above the weekly candle on 69K, but we're still below that yellow line, perhaps you want to exercise a bit of caution because that yellow line actually led to a fake out just a few days ago. Maybe we'll do it again. So maybe what we actually want to be seeing on Bitcoin is not only a breakout on a weekly candle above 69K, but also a breakout on the weekly candle above this yellow line as well. So at this point, that would be above around, let's say, 70.4K. You know, you have to take these things into consideration. And some people would sit here and they'd think, oh, Wolf, you know, you're being too conservative. You know, if I wait this long, I'll miss everything. At the end of the day, guys, you have to remember, you know, ground yourself in reality. What has Bitcoin been doing for the last 7.5 months, the last 230 days? It's been going sideways within a concise channel formation. All right. If we're talking about a 230-day channel formation and you don't want to wait a few extra days, you know, are you really being, you know, conservative enough there? Do you think you're jumping the gun a little bit? Do you think you're putting your horse before the cart? These are questions you got to ask yourself. You know, this is a big structure, the biggest consolidation structure that Bitcoin has ever seen. If you want to jump into any breakout you see on the hourly chart, you're going to get trapped. And a lot of people got trapped 2 days ago when I warned them not to. You know, don't be that guy. Don't be that guy who's sitting there holding bags after Bitcoin faked out to the upside and it's back down at 63K now and you're caught holding the bags and your altcoins are down 30%. You know, and you might say, oh, that's not going to happen. Well, guess what, guys? You know, it's happened 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times in this so far. In fact, if we were taking into account the downside, 7, 8, 9, 10 times in this channel formation so far. So it can certainly happen again. I hope it doesn't, you know, and I don't think it will. But it doesn't matter what I think. What matters is the objective charts, the objective TA. And that's how you got to get your mindset right so that you don't get trapped. That's how you get a long-term, you know, long-term sustainable and safe mindset in this market. You take the conservative approach, okay? You don't have, you know, some ticking time bomb over your head here. You've got time. Tomorrow's going to come. You're going to have another opportunity to trade. I always recommend to my viewers the conservative approach. And that conservative approach, in my view, is a weekly candle close above 69K at the very least. But also probably looking to break that yellow line there diagonally as well before entry. When those things occur, I see no reason at all why Bitcoin would go down from there. So that's what we need to see on macro. But now we can discuss short term. What happened here? Why did we correct downwards to 65,000 and why was it so good? Okay. Well, let's explain that. It's very simple, but it's very good. I can't understate how good it was, okay? What we did on Bitcoin, of course, go up to the yellow line, rejected, enter the correction, and you can see here on the volume profile, where is the dip on the volume profile? It's right here at 65,000. Where is one of the recent highs on the volume profile? It's right there at 65,000 in August. That was the high on the volume profile that was, you know, occurred before our first higher low on Bitcoin that led to the upwards trend, which is leading, you know, hopefully to the breakout of his channel as a whole. It's a very critical level at 65K. We've seen much price action around it throughout this entire range. We saw a rejection from it right there, rejections from it right here, support over here, rejection over here, support over here. I mean, you can just go on and on and on. It's also, as I said, a critical level on the volume profile. We came right down to it. And as you can see, perfect retest on the wick. And then on the candle, we managed to come right back up and close on top of 66K, which is the most recent high. You couldn't have got a better correction there. I mean, it was perfect. It was impeccable. So it's great to see that Bitcoin had that good correction. But the one thing Bitcoin needs to do now in order to actually confirm that that correction is over, right, that we actually did see the correction, it's behind us now, now we can move to the upside, Bitcoin needs to break above 68,000. Because we look at the volume profile on a shorter term perspective, and we see critical resistance in the volume profile all the way up to 68,000. We see 68,000 being the rejection point that Bitcoin got deflected off before this correction actually started. And hence, and on top of that, by the way, we see 68,000 being the leverage point Bitcoin was able to bounce off of and attack to the upside of the macro channel. Hence, we need to get above 68,000 in order to confirm that this is behind us. And from there, we can start moving to the upside once more. If Bitcoin in the next, 2 or 3 days manages to get above 68,000, we can really start looking very closely at the weekly candle close coming in 3 days and 17 hours as a point in which we can potentially break the entire macro structure as a whole. So what does Bitcoin have here? It has an opportunity. What we need to do is get above 68K, right? And then close the weekly above 69K. And then we're basically home free. right? So 68K is the first target. That's the short-term target. If we can make a 68K breakout over the next couple of days, we have a real chance here on Bitcoin to make an actual macro breakout. That's what Bitcoin should be aiming to do. Get above 68,000, end this correction where it was at 65K, because that's a perfect correction. If we do reject from 68K and go downwards, we do have a threat on Bitcoin of doing something like a rounding top formation, and then we need to discuss lower targets. I don't want to give any predictions on that right now. I'm not comfortable doing that. I don't see any particularly outstandingly more likely scenario here. What I do know is that 68K is important, and we're either going to reject from it or we're going to break above it. And what happens there is going to be very important for the next couple of weeks of price action on Bitcoin. Because I'll tell you this right now, if Bitcoin does reject from 68K and we roll over completely, we could be in for, you know, another couple of weeks added to how long this breakout's going to take on the macro scale. We could see a couple more weeks of consolidation, and no one wants that, right? Everyone's bored out of their minds. So hopefully we break 68K, and then hopefully after that we break the critical level at 69 on the weekly candle close. Fingers crossed, guys, but good stuff all around here. 65K was a perfect bottom. Let's hope we can follow it up. By the way, Ethereum says exactly the same thing. Ethereum did the identical thing. I mean, the carbon copy of Bitcoin went down to a critical level, managed to hold a daily candle support on the previous resistance. Literally everything I just said about Bitcoin applies to Ethereum. There's just slightly different numbers involved. So we'll discuss that more tomorrow. I don't want to drag this out too long. And we'll also discuss, by the way, the DXY tomorrow. Some critical stuff happening there. Apologies if I seem slightly, I guess, agitated or upbeat today. I actually recorded this whole video twice and it didn't. You know, we had some technical difficulties. Sound didn't record the first time. Second time, we had some editing issues. So this is my third time recording, which might explain some of my temperament here today. But I appreciate you guys watching. Please leave a comment and like down below, as well as to subscribe. You know, if you want to stay updated, that's what you can do. And the last thing I'll mention, just again, guys, is these exchanges here. The Bitfinex exchange and Blowfin, okay? Use my links down below. Takes 30 seconds to sign up. Global non-KYC, never been hacked before, hundreds of trading pairs, da-da-da-da-da. I could go on forever, okay? They're good exchanges, promise. Especially Bitfinex, I use it personally. Links are down below. Check it out if you're interested. And the last thing I'll mention, I know I said that twice now, is the VIP group, okay? 4 trading signals per week. We give you entry, we give you stop loss, we give you targets, we give you take profit, everything you need to trade. It's all in there in video format, as well as a group chat, as well as a PDF of all of the historical trading results, all of the wins, all of the losses, transparent. I show them openly there. I'm very happy with my results. 2 years of trading results, so check them out if you're interested. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I'll catch you tomorrow.